Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. Today I just want to speak about what is data, importance of data, and even what are the different types of data and different quantitative data, and even the things what is point, line, these geometrical concepts. Let's understand it. That is very important when we start with the data science career. These are the topics that are very important that we need to understand. We are pretty much even more confused about these areas when we go in depth of our data science career. So, first of all, we need to get the clarification on these topics. So, without being late, let's start. Data is nothing but units of information collected through observations. So let's see like how we are able to collect the data with the help of observations. So before getting into the topic, let's see the example of data. So I will justify the definition which I gave with this example. So here we can see in this table we got the data, right? So I went to the market and I was interacted with the several types of data scientists from different organizations. So I asked the first data scientist, like, what is your salary? He was saying, like, I was getting around 10 LPA. Then I was asked the second data scientist, and he was like saying I was getting around 7 LPA. Third scientist was said I was getting around 11 LPA, and the fourth data scientist was saying like I was getting around 21 LPA. Here, what so I took all the information and I was stored that information. So when we come out of this situation, this example, let you guys answer me there. What what was done between me and the data scientists from different organizations? It's absolutely a conversation, right? An interaction between me and them. So they are like saying or giving their information to me and I'm storing it. So for data definition, what I said, collecting the information through the observations. So the interaction between me and the data scientists are the observation, and I collected the information from that observation. So are you getting my point, right? So here what I am saying, like, from the data scientists, from the interaction between data scientists and me, I got the information from that observation. So we can say that data definition, like, we can collect the information through the observation. That is nothing but data. So there are two types of data. One is qualitative data and one is quantitative data. When it comes to the quantitative data, the data which is in numerical form, we will call it as quantitative data. And the data which is in non-numerical form, we will call it as a qualitative data. So here we can say the scores of exam 85, 67, 90. These all are in the numerical form. So we can call it as a quantitative data, right? The weight of the person or a subject. So how can we measure the weight, like uh 50 kg, 60 kg, like that, right? So those are the numerical values. So the weight of a person or a subject comes under the quantitative data. So when it comes to the quantitative data, see some examples of these. Like I told you before, right? I went to the market. So I was interacted with the data scientist first. I interacted with the first data scientist and asked his name. Like he said, my name is John, and I was like getting around 10 LPA with the experience of 1 year, and I was working in the Google company. And the second data scientist was like, my name is Anirudh, and I was getting around 7 LPA. I'm a fresher. He was saying like I was working in a startup company. And the third person was Indraj. He was saying like I was getting around 11 LPA and I was having 3 years of experience in XYZ company. And Arhan was saying like I was getting 21 LPA with the 5 years of experience in Microsoft. He was saying like that. So here what we can say is uh, the name of the person, which is telling the characteristic of a person, right? A specification of a person. The name was giving the specification of a person, and the what the company name also giving the specification of a person, like which company he is working, right? So these both are like non-numerical forms. So those both are comes under qualitative data. So here the salary and the experience are in numerical form. So these two informations comes under the quantitative data. So when comes to the this equation, let's suppose y is equal to f of x. So if we say like let's consider y as a salary and x as the different parameters like quantitative and qualitative parameters. So here we are taking the x as like experience and company name. So the salary will be dependent upon the experience and the company name of a person. So we can predict the salary rate like by knowing the experience of a person and the company he is working. So if the person comes working in a Microsoft with the experience of 5 years, we can say he will be get around like 21 LPA like that. So here what we are doing is by using the qualitative and quantitative parameters, we are we are knowing or we are predicting the salary of a person. Here what we are doing the analysis, right? Hmm? So I hope you guys are understood like what is data and what are the types of data, like what is quantitative data and what is qualitative data and what types are comes under qualitative data and quantitative data. So now we will see this like why we collect this data. What is the reason behind that? Like to do the analysis and to get the track of the person, right? So to do the analysis, we need some sort of information, right? So in this from this example, we can say that we can predict the salary of a person from the information of experience and the company name. So that's how we do the analysis, and by doing the analysis, we can know like the unknown things and the insights from the data we can get. And if suppose take the Amazon company, and Amazon company also take the information of a customer and it will give the recommendations for the customer, and it also do some sort of marketing according to the information, right? So if a person buys the bread, he the recommendation system also show immediately the milk also you can buy along with this, like that we get the recommendations like that. So every restaurants and every sort of industries are trying to understand and analyze the data, trying to able to know more about their customers to im- increase their sales and their profits, right? So those are the reasons why now the data science career was booming. So every company needs profits, right? So to get the profits, they need to do the analysis. So who will do the analysis? Who knows the data science, right? So that's why the data science career was increasing nowadays. So apart from that, I hope you guys understood why we collect the data and why we do the analysis. Now come to the part of the physical quantitative data. So in physical quantitative data, we have the top two parts. One is scalar and one is vector. So in data science concepts, every concept is included with the scalar and vector, but by doing in practically, we don't know, like we can't see that there is a scalar or there is a vector. But in every scenario, we that we will include these scalar and vectors. So let's see what is scalar and what is vector. So scalar is something like which anything which contain only the magnitude, we can call it as a scalar. And anything which contains both direction and magnitude, we call it as a vector. So here we can see, like, for example, there is only in the market only one data scientist who was getting around 27 LPA. There is no other data scientist in the market when I go there. So how can I say, like, he was the only one getting the higher package or lower package? I can't say, right? I was unable to say it is higher or lower. So if I have the different members of data scientists in the market from different organizations, I can say he was getting lower or higher. Like if you see this this point, like this point is data scientist one and this point is data scientist two. I can say easily that the second data scientist is getting more salary than the first data scientist. So by comparison, I can say, so in this comparison, to get this comparison, I have the particular person's magnitude and particular direction, right? So in this point, do I have any direction? No, I just only have the magnitude. So this will comes under the scalar. So if only a singular information was there without having any direction, only with the magnitude, we can consider it as a scalar. In When it comes to this scenario, we have several types of data scientist 1, data scientist 2, data scientist 3, and so on. So from these all data scientists, we can compare who was getting more salary by comparing their designations, their company names, and their years of experience, right? So here we can see some sort of direction and magnitude. So we can call the every point as vector. Every point has a specific direction, magnitude, right? So if all the points are falling on the same line, we call the points as a collinear point. So in this line, every point was the data scientist. Every point represents the data scientist. So every data science falls under this line only. So we can call this line as linear point. So from the collinear points, we can relate the things and get the insights out of it. As of now, just know what is scalar and vector. In further classes, you will get to know what was like collinearity and all the things. As of now, just uh, understood what is scalar and what is vector. Um, so this is the scalar. This is vector. How this is how we can distinguish, and we can say it is a 1D array. 1D array means one dimensional array. So there is only one dimension, right? There is only one x-axis. There is no y-axis or there is no z-axis. So there is only one axis. We can call it as a one dimensional array. So we are seeing it in a one dimension, like with the aspect of salary only. With the aspect of salary, we are comparing and giving the outcomes. But there are, like, this is the 2D array and this is the 3D array. So what is array means? Array is the collection of items in con- contiguous memory, which stores in contiguous memory. So in the previous example, you can see these all points are the collection of salary information. That's it. So these all salary information will get stored if we collect will get stored in the computer, right? Computer memory. So that's how these data points or these information also this 2D array information also store in contiguous memory. This 3D information also stores in computer memory, right? So that's why we call it as the array. There are different types of data points in the 2D array or 1D array or 3D array. So we are storing that in a computer memory. That's why we are calling it as a 2D array and 3D array and 1D array. So in this 2D array, we have the two coordinates. In the 3D array, we are having the three coordinates. By having the three coordinates, we can get the more information out of the data. So, like in the previous one dimensional array, we only have the salary. So we can say only the who was getting the higher salary or who was getting the lower salary. But when it comes to the say 2D array, we also had the experience coordinate and salary coordinate. So here we have the two coordinates, like it is a two-dimensional array. From the experience, from the salary, like with how much of experience the person will get, how much salary we can predict from this information. So this is how the 2D array and 3D array will comes into the picture in data science field. So we use in tremendous applications in our further classes. As of now, just you guys know like what is data and types of data, what is quantitative data, and what is qualitative data, and like why we need to collect the data, what is physical quantity data, what is scalar, what is vector, and why we represent the data in 2D and 3D. I hope you all guys are understood like why we use the two. We are saying or we are using the 2D array and 3D array. So every coordinate, every coordinate um, will give some particular parameter information, like if this give the salary information, this give the experience information, and this give the company information. By taking all these three experiences, we can say like who is going to get the higher salary with how much of experience, if we do in particular company, what the type of salary, how much of salary we are going to get, we can know. So that's how we can analyze the data. So I hope you guys understood this. So in next class we will discuss the what is Python. We will discuss the Python language and other concepts which are related to data science. Thank you guys. Bye bye.